All right, folks, here I am getting ready to service the swamp cooler, also known as the evaporative cooler. There are different types. This is a master cool or something similar. I don't know if it's an actual master cool, but it's the exact same thing. So every year, twice a year, I have to work on it. Once to service it in the springtime, second time to take it down for the winter. There are screws all the way around this lid. It's around three sides, of course. I already pulled those off. I almost forgot to grab the camera. And as you can see, be careful. This will come off. This is simply the screen that the swamp cooler pulls air through. Now the way this works, I have pads here. I'll show you that in a second. Those suspend water and the fan pulls air through the water, cooling it down and into the house. Since it's not a closed system, it pulls air in from the outside. Inside, you have to open windows in the rooms you want to cool down. And the best way to judge how far to open the windows is the toilet paper test. Take one square of toilet paper, put it against the screen. If it sucks the toilet paper hard to the screen, you need to open windows more in whatever rooms you want to cool. If it falls away, then you need to close them down a little bit. But it has this tray that controls the splatter, and it sprays the water out to the pads through this PVC, half-inch PVC that is perforated. Now the pads used in this system, in this case, are simply corrugated cardboard, like rigid. That's all it is. So I did already pull this over, this water line. Normally it's connected to the top of the water heater. Sometimes it is out of a hose bib. So it's like tapped into the side. All this does is screw into the side. Now you want to pull out on the line as you screw it in. It's a compression fitting, so it needs to go in straight. So pull out on the line, screw it in, and then tighten it with a wrench. So just tighten this down. On the inside is a valve you can just hang on to, but you want to just tighten this down to get it a good snug fit. Okay, this system is really simple to work on, and I'll show you. Okay, a lot of calcification. I'm going to wash that out as much as possible. This is simply the plug. Oh, wrong way. Threaded side down, of course. Screws in here. Okay. Screws in. No water leaks out of here. If the water gets too high, it will overflow and out. I do recommend, that you attach a garden hose to the bottom of this. I'll show you. There's the bottom. Attach a garden hose right there and run it off the edge of the roof. That will save your roof. So now I'm going to go down into the garage, connect the water line, and then start purging the air out of the line. Okay, here is my spider web of water lines. I have a redundancy of valves. Here's the first one, coming off the main valve that comes off of the filter here. So I turn that on, it runs up and over to there. So now I'm going to turn on the water to the swamp cooler. That's going to start it running, and that'll purge all of the air out of the RO system. Since I had to replace the O-rings, I had to empty the canisters. So there's a lot of air in the system. This will drain it out. Okay, this is really cruddy, covered in calcium. That's because last year the RO went out and I had to run straight filtered well water right into this. It's not coming in from the RO tank, it's coming in from the RO filter. I didn't connect the tank yet because it still has air in the canisters, has air in the lines. I don't want that to go into the tank because it is a pressure tank with the valve on the bottom. So once you get air in there, you're not going to get it out. So you can hear the pump running. That's specific for the RO system. There's still a lot of air trapped in those canisters. I need to work that out. That's what's running very slowly into the swamp cooler right now. I'm still going to keep the tank turned off right there. I'm going to keep that turned off. I don't want to get air into the line. So I am going to switch this over, and that will instantly, as soon as I can get it turned over, that will instantly take the air out of the line, fill the swamp cooler. I can fill it, service it, or the pump go off. That's because pressure is coming back from here. So I'm going to use that to fill the tray of the swamp cooler. That will allow me to service it, get it into use, and then I can bleed those canisters. All right, there's the water running from the tank, which is really clean water. So I'm going to use that to scrub all of this clean and then flush it out through there. Okay, I have already started removing screws before I started filming. This is one I already removed. The screw here holds this in place. Once you get that screw out, that just lifts up and out. And then the fan. Okay, tripod's over there. I'm going to have to show you. This is what I'm lifting up on to fill. I'll get the tripod. For now, I'm going to put the belt on, put it on the motor first. I take this off every year just to keep it from stretching and dry rotting. And you should have no more than 1 inch play here. And it should spin freely. Now let's go on the other side. I'll fill this other oil reservoir. This is what I filled on the other side. Just open this up, stick the tube in, and start filling. Now, I don't think I filmed it on the other side, but as soon as you fill it, it's going to slip out. Now, as soon as you fill it all the way to the rim. It's going to settle down in around the bearings. Do it again and again and again, and just be patient until finally it doesn't flow down. Now what I'm going to do is, this is for the pump, and this one's for the fan. Okay, I'm here at the swamp cooler controls. Everything's ready up top. I unplugged the fan and the pump. Now I'm going to turn it on here. That way, as soon as I plug it in up on top, I can test it and everything, it'll be running. I don't have to run back and forth. So this is actually connected to a thermostat. So off, fan low, fan high, and fan and pump. That's what I want, and it's set on 80. I'm sorry. It was set on 70. Now I'm setting it way down, 52. That sounds good. I want it as cold as possible. That way it is running by the time I get up there and plug it in. All right, so here we are with this. This is what sprays the water over the pads to be effective. So it's a rubber nipple, just slides in through that hole. What I want to do now is clean out all of these holes. Okay, I've got a small star wrench, screwdriver, whatever you want to call it, just big enough to pierce those holes and clean them out. Okay. All right, I had to tilt it up to see that it is flowing out the end. Water's flowing too strongly out the sides. Let me unplug that. In order to make it to the end so it's not clogged. It's just that it's doing a good job of distributing the water. So let's put this back on. Everything seems to be clear. Sweet. So now I'm just going to put the pads back in place. There is a lip here and a lip here. They need to sit on that. They don't need to actually sit in the water. By the way, the water has pretty much stopped filling. This just bends. So if it shuts off in time before it starts overflowing in there, great. That's perfect. You want it as close to the overflow as possible without actually overflowing. You want to allow a good inch or so before the top. Otherwise, when you shut it off, the water will drain out of the pads and overflow. Personally, I like to avoid that. But you can adjust that simply by bending this wire. Oh, we got to test the fan. So we tested the pump and it's running. Now, the thermostat has been set on fan for long enough that the fan should run. Nice and quiet, nice and smooth. That's what we want. So, now set these in place. Right on the lip. Try to put them in the order they came out, because that's the way they will fit the best. All right. And they should sit squarely on top of them, overlapping. And now put it back together. Got to plug it all in. You got to plug it all in before it goes back together. Make sure you put the plug in. The pump can run for a little bit without water, but not for very long. Not for more than like 15 minutes. And not very often. There. Get the plug back in. It's filling back up. Make sure this goes around, down, over on all sides. This slips up and under. And then screw it back in. Easy peasy. And that is servicing of a Master Cool 101. Because God help me if there's a 102, because I have no idea. Really simple machine to work on. That's what I love. Our humidity is so low here that it's really effective. In fact, I have heard complaints with regular AC that it dries out the air too much, because AC does dry it out more. I don't know. I like it. I think it's more effective. Everybody has their opinion. So, until next time, see ya.